Hello, I'm Christine Franklyn, and I'm so happy to be with you once again. I help busy business owners finally feel free and vibrant and not bogged down by their to-do list.
And my name is Silvana Siskov, and I'm a health coach and nutritionist, and I help people to improve their eating habits and improve their lifestyle habits so they can feel happy, healthy, lose weight, and feel their best. And today we are going to talk about intermittent fasting. So, Christine, what do you think about intermittent fasting diet?
I think actually it is taking us back to how we used to eat way back. Our ancestors used to eat this way because, of course, it wasn't like it is now with supermarkets all over and food easily accessible. So there were times when food was plentiful and there were times when food was less plentiful. And somewhere along the line, we've realized, okay, we have maybe too much access to food. We eat when we don't necessarily need to eat. So let's take a step back and maybe look at how we can recreate that same experience of giving our bodies a break, which is what used to happen naturally. So I see
Mhm.
intermittent fasting as simply going back to what naturally used to happen. And it's a great way to give our bodies a break from all that work of digestion. Digestion takes up so much energy to even happen, although we don't think about it. So it's a brilliant way to give our bodies a rest and give our bodies a chance to almost cleanse themselves and feel lighter. I find that when I do intermittent fasting, I feel lighter. So it has worked for me, and if clients are interested in it, I highly recommend it. What
I
about
think
you?
it's important. Yes, I think it's important to mention benefits and disadvantages of intermittent fasting, because there are advantages and disadvantages with, I think, any diet.
Yes.
And so the benefits of intermittent fasting are that it can help with weight loss, it can help with insulin resistance, it can help with some cancers, it can help with some studies suggest that it can help with preventing Alzheimer, and it can help with lowering blood pressure and cholesterol. But then disadvantages could be that it can cause hormonal imbalance.
Hmm.
Therefore, for pregnant women or women who go through menopause, they really need to pay attention kind of how they eat during that time. And if it causes hormonal imbalance, then their body is basically going to be in a mess. It's already in a mess anyway, in a way. But if the food they eat and the way they eat is causing hormonal imbalance, then it's not going to do them any favor. And then another disadvantage could be that it can cause low blood sugar levels. And another disadvantage could be that it can cause food cravings, and the food cravings can lead to obesity, and we are familiar with what obesity can bring. So yeah, there are disadvantages and advantages, but um, yeah. And there are different ways of intermittent fasting. So there is a 16-8 method, there is a 14-10 method, which means that for 16 hours, for instance, with 16-8 method, you fast for 16 out, and you have 8 hours window when you eat. And it's same with 14-10 method. You fast for 14 hours and you eat within a window of 10 hours. And there is another type of intermittent fasting where you can fast for 24 hours once or twice a week. So if you follow intermittent fasting properly, it can bring lots of benefits. But the problem is, and this is a big problem, that lots of people are not following it properly the way they meant to follow it. And I am a member of a few Facebook groups focusing on intermittent fasting. And what lots of people do, so for instance, there is also 5-2 diet, which is also part of intermittent fasting. So what some people do is they starve for 2 days, they don't eat anything, and then they eat complete junk for another 5 days.
Mhm.
And that's not what this diet is about.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
true, actually. Well,
Yes.
with clients, what I recommend when they're interested in any type of diet, not a calorie restrictive diet per se, but a different way of eating, like maybe keto or vegetarian or vegan. And I put intermittent fasting in the same, bucket with those, a way of testing what works for you. So typically, if a client is interested, as long as they don't have any underlying conditions and under the advice of their doctor, they're safe to try the particular diet that they're interested in. Even with intermittent fasting, I recommend just try it on for size. So a big part of what I do when I coach is to help people to learn to listen to their bodies. So when you try a new way of eating, any new way of eating, it's important to be sensitive to what's going on in your body. So even if you might not know the root cause, if you're listening to your body, you'll know when something is different or something is wrong or you don't feel quite right. And I think that's absolutely key for any way of eating. And what I usually recommend for intermittent fasting, especially to get started, is to do it the easy way. There's a reason break fast is called break fast because it's supposed to break a fast. And you can simply stop eating at least 3 hours before you go to bed. And whatever you eat has enough time to digest, which is always great. And then eat later in the morning. So you give yourself somewhere between 12 to 16 hours of fasting. And it's not like it's going to totally disrupt your routine or disrupt your day because you're sleeping for a good portion of those hours. So I find that that's just an easy way to get into it. And typically that's the way I do it. I That's just what I find works for me. I typically don't try to go for a long haul or, do anything extreme. I think when we get into the extremes, that's usually the dangerous territory. So I prefer to keep things really simple and just see how it feels in my body, tell clients to see how it feels in their body, and then we go from there. So what do you think?
Yes. Yes, I agree. I mean, it's important to kind of see what really suits your body, because we're all different, and the type of diet that suits you might not suit me.
Yes,
And
I always say
yeah, and
that.
yes, and it's really important. Kind of, it's important to pay attention to that. It's important to recognize that each body is different, and something, the type of diet that suits 20-year-old male might not suit 50-year-old female.
Yes,
you
very true.
know yes, so, and it's important to really think about it when we decide what type of diet we want to follow. And as I mentioned, kind of, there are lots of benefits with intermittent fasting, but only if we follow it properly. As I said, kind of, this is very common with 5-2 diet. As I said, kind of 5 days, 5 days a week. You're supposed to be eating kind of kind of normal sorts of food, not overeating, eating healthy in a way, but then
Hmm.
twice a week, 2 days a week, eating only between 500 and 600 calories, which is very low.
Yes.
And lots of people tend to follow this diet because they want to lose weight.
Hmm.
And as I mentioned earlier, the problem is that what I noticed when I read the post from different groups that are focusing on intermittent fasting, the problem is that lots of people starve for 2 days and then they eat junk or they overeat over the period of 5 days, which is really not what this diet is kind of supposed to teach us, and it's not what this diet meant to do.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of important to follow diet properly if you want to follow this type of diet.
Yes. And, you know, it's about having healthy eating as a part of your lifestyle. So it's
Mm.
not that all your focus and all your energy is on doing one specific thing on one day or 2 days a week, and then the rest of the days of the week, it's just anything goes. It's about eating healthy all along, and
Yeah.
you're just taking a break at these specific intervals in between. So it's not that you are punishing yourself for 2 days and then you go crazy for the other 5 days. you know.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just
Yes.
a shift that's needed. Yeah.
Yeah, we shouldn't see any type of diet as a punishment. A
Exactly.
diet's supposed to be something that help us to function and survive, rather than punish us. So yeah, and the intermittent fasting is a really type of diet where you kind of eat healthy, and then you have a period of time when you don't eat.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what intermittent fasting is about. And as I said, it has a lots of benefits, but only if it's followed properly.
Yes, for sure. And one of the benefits I've experienced myself is that I typically
Mhm.
find that I have more energy and more mental clarity after I do intermittent fasting. So I think that
Yeah.
break is really important to just get everything back into balance. And
Hmm.
if it can work for you, it can be really beneficial. So it's a matter of knowing what your situation is to start with, making sure you don't have any issues that might be made worse by this if you already have issues with blood sugar or blood pressure. You want to be really careful when it comes to fasting. But generally, if you're in good health and you just want to see if it works for you, I think it's worth a try with guidance.
Yeah, that's true. And really try to eat healthy diet all alone rather
Yeah,
than just a couple of days or a few hours a day. Healthy diet really needs to be part of our everyday life,
yeah,
rather than just for a certain period.
yeah. So true. So I think
Yeah.
we covered a lot today. Hopefully, this has been helpful for anybody who's been considering trying intermittent fasting. And any final words, Silvana?
No, just good luck if you want to follow that diet. But as I said, kind of as we already concluded, kind of to try to do some kind of research if you really want to do it, and see if it really suits you or suits your body. As we mentioned, if you are diabetic or pregnant or going through menopause, maybe it's not the best time for you to follow this diet, but maybe it is. You really need to kind of see whether it's suitable for you, and yeah, consult your doctor if you're in any doubts.
Yes, so true. So we have, of course, another exciting topic coming up next week. So what is that?
Yes, it's about how to eat during the Christmas period, which is
Yes,
coming very soon.
yes.
Yeah.
So I'm sure this will be equally helpful for everyone. So make sure you join us then.
Yeah, I'll see you then.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.